Am I Racist, Matt Walsh's new mockumentary, has had a huge opening in the box office, making $4.7 million. And still, critics have not said a single peep about the movie. But you can see on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 99% score from the audience. So I think according to our Rotten Tomatoes scale that we went over earlier this month, this is definitely something that you should go watch.
You should, yes. Especially given that there's no critic score at all.
No critic score whatsoever. I don't know if it's because the people who did review weren't verified. It included one from Film Threat, also Christian Toto, friend of the show. But none of the big review sites have touched this. They're afraid. And you can tell after the backlash that Jeremy Jahns got for giving it a positive review. He said, you know, fun time, no alcohol required.
Yep.
So that's like a second below.
Yeah, Awesome-tacular
is
his best rating.
But a lot of people were very outraged by this.
How dare he?
He did get a couple of positive comments. One said, I didn't know your political leanings after watching this, and it shows how genuinely fair you are as a reviewer.
Absolutely. No, his review is 5 minutes long and you wouldn't be able to discern what his politics are just from watching it. He focuses on the storytelling. You know, he has small critiques about certain aspects of it. He praises other aspects of it, and none of it has to do with whether he thinks DEI is good or not.
Right. I still have no idea what his opinion about DEI is. And that's
he is literally the only movie reviewer.
Skillful.
He is the only movie reviewer that I still watch. I will say, though, as an aside, we were talking Friday about the movie Tenet, and I went back and I watched a 40-minute explained about the film, and I understand even less about it now.
At the end, you were like, Doi.
Yeah, I was like, I still love it. I don't care. None of what this guy said made any sense. But if you're looking for very, very good unbiased reviews for movies, Jeremy Jahns is a fantastic person to watch.
Well, in response, there was a lot of coping and seething, not in his comment section, but on Twitter. Jeremy Jahns just merely said that he had fun watching Am I Racist? And the backlash was shocking. Matt Jarbo said, midlife crisis Jeremy Jahns is not the villain origin story I was expecting.
What does that even mean?
That was just a bunch of brain rot.
So is he mad because he reviewed it, or is he mad because he reviewed it and didn't give it a bad review?
What Matt is saying is reviewing Am I Racist at all means that you're having a midlife crisis. That's what he's saying.
Okay.
So, he's one of the untouchables. Another one said Jeremy Jahns gave a positive review to Matt Walsh's Am I Racist? And I immediately unsubscribed. I was a Jeremy Jahns subscriber for over 12 years, but no more. He has disappointed me even more so than his biased Star Wars reviews since The Last Jedi.
What he means by
Jeremy can F off.
What he means by that is he doesn't like the stuff that I like, therefore he's a bad reviewer.
And a bad person. Not just a bad reviewer, but a bad human being who deserves to be condemned.
It continuously amazes me. Not even talking about Matt Walsh's film, which is politically loaded. It is continuously fascinating to me how much weight people put on a person's review of a movie. Like, there is a reason whenever I review a movie, I'm like, look, I don't know if you're going to like it. I don't know if you're going to hate it. I'm going to tell you what I thought about it. This is not me saying it's a good movie or a bad movie, because somebody will inevitably come into the comments and say, actually, you're wrong and you're the worst person that's ever walked the face of the planet. If you don't like The Crow, or you didn't give Beetlejuice a higher rating even though you said it was okay, you're a bad person. And I'm like, don't you have like a modicum of like restraint? It's not that serious. I'm just sharing my opinions on a movie.
It's a movie.
I guess it's because...
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
I guess it's because people now tie so much of Hollywood back into more important things to the world, like politics.
It's not just the politicization of entertainment that causes people to act so outraged. It's also the fact that media consumption has become so wrapped up in some people's identities and worldviews that you are threatening their worldview and their deepest identity at the core if you don't like the same movie they liked. And there are two main bad faith responses to a movie review. One of them was the one you mentioned. You're objectively wrong and a bad person for not liking this movie. And the second one is you're actually pretending not to like this movie for clout.
Wait,
which is also unfalsifiable.
Wait, they're saying you're pretending not to like it, or you're pretending
if they like this movie or this show.
Oh, yes.
And you say I don't like it.
Yeah.
You're pretending not to like it for clout.
Yeah, and they'll call you, and they'll say that you're a grifter because your opinion doesn't agree with theirs on a movie.
Exactly. But there's no way to argue against that because it's literally just an attack on your conscience as a person, that you are disingenuous, and there's no way to refute that. These people are crazy. You should not listen to them. Thankfully, Jeremy Jahns was aware that there would be some backlash of this sort and decided to post it anyway. And he said the reason that he needed to review Am I Racist was because he knew he was afraid to review it. Yeah. So he had to. He had to force himself to do it.
Commendable.
Yes.
Right? That's commendable. And they also tied in the fact that he watched and didn't hate Sound of Freedom.
One of the responses said, "This is not an airport. You don't have to announce to the world that you're leaving or departing when someone does something you don't like. Just leave."
Look, whenever we get one of those comments, I halt myself and I don't respond on the channel.
That's the healthy response, is just, put it in the vault.
They want you to do that anyways. They want you to respond. They love that. That's the whole point.
It's not even trolling, because I do believe they're being sincere, but some people are just so down the terminally online spiral, you can't reach them, and there's no point trying. Some controversy from Jeremy Jahns' past has been brought up in this conversation. Apparently, he performed blackface Blade on his channel probably many years ago. Whatever. And one person said, beyond his contribution to the dumbing down of film criticism, Jeremy Jahns is embracing full-blown racism. Sounds like you can't excuse this infamous moment from years back as a product of edgy internet humor. No. Jeremy Jahns has merely exposed himself to everyone as the true racist he really is.
Jeremy Jahns has mastered the art of giving really, really great film critique while also giving you the everyman take, right? So many of his reviews are thought-provoking and bring up points that I would never think about in a million years, but he's able to show it to you in a way that shows that he's just a dude watching movies and sharing his thoughts on it. What he does is not easy. It's not easy at all. And to be able to do that genuinely is very, very difficult. So I actually kind of hate that they're, sandbagging all the work he's done and all the great stuff he's done. He likes lots of stuff. He critiques lots of stuff. My favorite is if you see him in the bathrobe and with the alcohol, it's about to be just a shit show.
Yeah.
But look, I think it just goes back to it's not that serious. Now, for this film, it's a little bit different. This film has political undertones that it was never going to escape just by virtue of the studio that produced it. It's always going to be there. Can't do anything about it. But if you're saying that about other movies that he's made, if his takes on Star Wars fill you with rage, there's a problem.
One of these people, actually, with pronouns in bio, said, people give Jeremy Jahns a pass as a reviewer because he mainly sticks to giving number scores, but it's worth noting he was very cool with Am I Racist and Sound of Freedom.
He doesn't give number scores. What are they? I don't even know what he means by that.
Extremely critical of Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So what? What is that supposed to mean? Is there some kind of implication that I'm missing here? I don't get it.
I don't get it. He also doesn't give number scores. He gives
I don't think this person watches his channel. They don't watch his channel.
He gives awesome-tacular, good time, no alcohol required, better if you're drunk.
Yeah.
Dog shit is the
Honestly,
worst of the worst.
Am I Racist is still probably more fun if you're drunk. In fact, you could create a really good drinking game out of it.
Yeah.
I'd have to give that some more thought.
I mean, when I watched his review, I actually just kind of felt whimsical about a life where that was my life as well, where he mentions, he's like, I had to look up what the E and DEI stood for. I'm like, oh man, I wish.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Sometimes if I reference something and the person I'm talking to doesn't get the online reference, and Like, I just won't explain it because I'm like, you're better off not knowing.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.